good evening. This is your man's, the man about town, Petty Murphy, reporting to you live from the back of the classroom with Alcata News Network. What is that? Wait a minute. Stay tuned. Breaking news.
New York will remain a city of immigrants, a city built by immigrants, powered by immigrants, and as of tonight, led by an immigrant.
And I was always the one bringing that up about Bernie Sanders because you all, including Sean King some time ago, called Bernie Sanders a prophet. You Negroes look so pathetic. All y'all out there working on this campaign and singing the praises of Bernie Sanders. And then when he's asked questions about reparations for black people, Bernie believes in trillions of dollars in freebies for everybody, white and working class, and the rest of America. He believes you should get free education, free healthcare, free everything else. Okay, great. So then when you say, what about a specific check for the people who built America, created America, shed blood for America, were murdered for America, and the reason why other folks around the world say they want to go to a place to experience the American dream is based on our Black American nightmare. What do you think about those people getting at least 1 red cent for all that they've done? Bernie says, no. We don't respect none of you all. And if I hear any of you funny looking Negroes out there talking about it, you're going to get this everlasting work too.
Family, only in America we can have our first black governor of Maryland veto a bill for black people. So let me get this straight. Senate Bill 587 actually recommended reparations for enslaved Africans that lived in Maryland. It gets passed by the House and the Senate. We're talking tax rebates, tuition waivers, and home assistance. Real shit, y'all, not no DEI brochures. And what does West, all skin folks ain't kin folks more does? He vetoes it. Says we've had enough studies. It's not just a study, this is a blueprint. It's like telling an architect to just build a house without drawing the shit. The man said we don't need no more research, y'all. Look, we're not trying to write a thesis. We just trying to get our damn checks, bro. Damn. It's funny how we got all of this sense of urgency to help these white South Africans come over here and cry persecution. First class, front row, a whole motherfucking welcome kit. Meanwhile, black Americans are still waiting on their refund for building the damn country. Let this shit sink in, family. We waited 241 years to get our first black governor of Maryland, and he used his pen to cancel reparations. That shit is crazy to me.
Why is it immigrants are not stopping reparations?
My ancestors come from the Caribbean, and there were slaves in the Caribbean, and we
didn't qualify for the American reparations.
Well, here's the challenge. There are so many difficulties with trying to enact reparations, in part because the question is who gets them. Potentially, I could fall into that category. I honestly have called a pipe dream in the past, and I think that's what it is.
Well, it would be nice if there was an elegant, simple solution to all sorts of complicated problems. You're not actually talking about how to fix those problems if you're only talking about reparations. If we're only debating how we're going to parcel out responsibility for something that happened more than a century ago. And we're probably never going to do this. It's not clear to me why we're pursuing this thing.
Is it fair that there's no reparations, no restitution, nothing?
Should the Irish get reparations, by the way? Irish need not apply signs when they came here during the Progressive era. Sure. I mean, how far do we want to take this down? Are we acknowledging that there are ugly spots in history? Because 60% of the world would be entitled to slave reparations if you wanted to play that game.
Well, here's a fact. Slavery ended 154 years ago. It's been a long, long time since we had slavery in this country. And you have people like my family. I'm black, but my family came to the United States in 1962. My parents are from Costa Rica. Do I get a check?
I did a couple of essay contests that I actually won. And I won like NAACP AXO award for this essay and something else. I can't remember another, like I ended up winning money. And the essay was, do you think black people should get reparations? And I was like, no, you didn't work for it.
Why are you so against reparations?
Valerie, it's a matter of a waste of time. We've got so much to do. And yet you have people who invest so much energy and attention on what I consider to be a dead-end idea, a dead-end movement.
If we were to pay reparations today, we would only divide the country further. We would insult many black Americans by putting a price on the suffering of their ancestors.
I want to just play quickly what you said about reparations.
Dr. King said at the tail end of his life, he said, we're going to Washington and get our check. What is your position on reparations?
I don't believe in reparations. I don't.
Good. Next. Well, then you don't believe in the black community.
So you don't believe in reparations?
Oh, wow. Why do you got to play the rest of the clip, man? I was on fire during that one. A couple things is, all right, how many people in the United States today are actually descendants of slave owners? Forget descendants of slaves. Let's hold that to the side. Descendants of slave owners. You've had massive immigration into the United States over the last 150 years. So now you're going to say that people who immigrated to the United States who are not descendants of slave owners, were not descendants of that trade, now they're going to be responsible for paying that out going forward. My mother's Jamaican. My father's Panamanian. You have a lot of black people in this country who are not descendants of the American slave trade. So I already know off top, there's a lot of black people in America who aren't going to be able to get that kind of benefit or get reparations.
Well, most people who are for reparations, they feel like it should go to what they call foundational black Americans anyway.
And I agree with that point. But I'm just saying, I'm just laying out, these are the reasons for why I'm no. So while I'm now,
you do support reparations for what Leonard just deemed as, quote, foundational black Americans?
No, I don't.
No.
But I want to explain that. I want to explain that. And so that's why you have a lot of people saying, okay, well, then what are we going to do? And so my view is that what you do going forward is why you have to have wholesale changes in economic, medical policy, et cetera, so that the ability to access various parts of our economy and grow in our economy work for everybody, including people in our country who are, quote unquote, foundationally black. Now, let me translate to what's happened in California. So there was a bill in California for reparations. The California Assembly, which is massively Democrat, they didn't move that bill. They could have moved that bill. When they were asked why they weren't moving that bill, they tucked tail and turned and ran away. They didn't even have the guts to actually answer that question. So I'm here with y'all. I'll tell you why I'm a no. But you have Democrats who will say they're for something, but when it comes time to actually do it, they're not there for you. They say they run away. They don't answer the question, and to be blunt, like the current vice president, not answering a lot of questions.
But she did say that she's for reparations.
After she said she wasn't. So which one is it?
No, she never said she wasn't.
That's never happened.
That's the false narrative.
All right, that's fine. I'm gonna let it go.
She was here when she said it.
But we have a history of racism in America.
So you are for some type of
Yes, I am.
reparation. Okay.
Yes, I am.
I'm not gonna challenge. Yeah. I won't challenge.
But I guess the question is, Congressman, you say that you're not for reparations. Then you go on to say that there are a lot of elected officials. We know that racism is a bipartisan problem, right? So on that, do you know who was the father of affirmative action?
No, that's a good question. Actually, I don't know the answer to that one.
The answer is a Republican by the name of Dr. Arthur Fletcher, who worked, you brought up Richard Nixon earlier. He worked with Richard Nixon.
Right.
But I've noted that you are opposed to affirmative action. Again, another policy that would democratize access to all of the things that you've talked about today, including economic access for black people.
Mm-hmm.
So on that.
What do you want black people to have, Byron?
I want them to have everything. I want them to have access to everything that this nation can do when it's running right.
How do
so
we
why,
do that?
why be against the legislation that provides that then?
Yeah.
Because you have a situation now where the real question is, do you need affirmative action today? Not did you need affirmative action? The answer to that is 100% yes. You absolutely needed it. The question is in 2024, in 2028, in 2032, do you need that now? I would argue the thing you need more now is you got to have equality in terms of the level of academic attainment for young black kids. What a young black kid needs more now than anything today is to be able to read and write, read at grade level, write at grade level, do math at grade level, and frankly, and beyond. That's what they need today.
You know, Byron, I don't disagree with you, but I just don't trust white supremacy that much.
Yeah, I'm thinking.
I feel like you need that type of legislation. I feel like you need those guardrails in place to make sure. To protect, yes, and to make sure those type of things happen.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna be very quick with this, right? But I actually was just talking to my moms about this, and you know, it's funny because the same individuals that our parents and grandparents went out there and fought for in the 1965 Civil Rights Immigration Act are not the same people that are here claiming that we have no culture, we're ignorant, we don't know who our fathers are, we're uncouth and have no morals, and that their job and responsibility is to replace us in politics and our own homeland so that they can then in turn take those funds and resources and support their own people back home. And if you don't want to believe it, you can look at what's going on right now in Minnesota with Senator Ilhan Omar and follow the paper trail and then just pay attention. Look at how many cases of autism there were in the Somali community. And then just a year later, and then see where all that money's going. And then you see, when you follow the paper trail, and you see where the money's being funneled to. But again, we were told that these were our allies, and a specific party has always used us on the front lines to push for their agenda. Now, the same people, again, that we fought to get here now hold positions of political power, and these are the same people saying that they will not honor what is in a legal document called the Emancipation Proclamation, which promised to provide 40 acres and a mule to the head household of each freed Black American family. And single individuals, it was 20 acres and a mule. And it's funny because that treaty was reneged on and was never honored. And here, the people that we invited to our communities, who now attack our women in their braid shops and hold them hostage, are now telling us that they in turn will not support what was promised to us over 100 years ago when we've already delivered for them. But they tell me I'm wrong when I speak this way. And you know, it's funny because they laugh, they mock us. You a kata, you just in a cutting pika. You niggas don't know your father. Mi joda la raza, moyo mayete. And no, it's not all of them. But my point is that as a collective, they're not hiding how they feel or what they're doing. And until you and I, as a collective, start moving as one and holding ourselves accountable to ourselves and taking care of our communities, this type of shit's gonna continue to happen. So yeah, I'm gonna get up out of here. And y'all remember, realize. And transparency forces accountability. Y'all keep your eyes to the stars. Keep that head on a swivel. Cause these demons ain't playing fair. And some of y'all are a little too fucking slow to see it.